Good morning and welcome to the season finale of Coffee Conversations. My name is Heidi Ellsworth with Roofers Coffee Shop, and today we have such a special coffee conversation. We have our friends from the RCA-SF, Roofing Contractors Association of Southern Florida, and the Make-A-Wish Southern Florida Foundation here today to visit with us. And I'm going to introduce them in just 1 second. But first, I want to do a few little housekeeping things. As you know, this is a Q&A. We want to hear from you. We want to hear your stories of giving back to the community. We want to hear your questions for our great guests today about how to get more involved. And I want to also be sure to really say thank you to our friends at ABC Supply. ABC Supply is sponsoring this. They want to really share all the great things that are going on out there and all the opportunities to give back. They are a huge donor to Make-A-Wish, along with Home for Our Troops. And really, as we looked at this, we were saying, this is perfect. We need to highlight all the great things that are happening in the roofing industry. So thank you very much, ABC Supply. And you're going to hear a little bit more of that from one of our guests here in just a second. So let's get started. I would like to introduce Lynn Johnston with Earl W. Johnston Roofing. Good morning, Lynn. Welcome to the show.
Hi, Heidi. Good morning.
I've been watching you for years, Lynn, as you send us information and you give us things for the coffee shop. I am so excited to have you here today. Thank you for taking the time and sharing all the great things that are happening down in Southern Florida.
I'm happy to be here.
Yeah, I am so happy. Barrenbaum is here with ABC Supply, also a board member on RCA-SF, and very active in the fishing tournament along with Lynn. They're going to talk about all this today and all the great things they're doing. Welcome, Barry, to Coffee Conversations.
Good morning, everybody.
And finally, we have Jackie Pearl. And I have to tell you, this is pretty cool. Jackie is with Make-A-Wish Southern Florida, and she works hand in hand with the association to really do all the fundraising to help. I mean, I've really been inspired by listening how they work together and partner to really make wishes come true for all these little kids. So Jackie, thank you for being here this morning.
Good morning. Thank you so much for having me.
Awesome. Okay, so we're going to get started because I'm really excited to be learning more about this and to help everybody else out there to find out what this is all about. But we're going to start with really kind of getting to know all of you. So first, Lynn, can you tell everybody a little bit about yourself, about your company, and specifically, let's go into about what you're doing with RCA-SF and Make-A-Wish and being on that board.
Okay, well, thank you. Earl W. Johnston Roofing. That's my husband, Earl. He started the company back in 1986. And a few years later, we got really busy in 1992 because there was a little storm that came through called Hurricane Andrew.
Yes.
So I kind of got pulled into the office there, and I've been there ever since. So it's been a great, being able to have a family business and raise 3 kids. And I'm happy to say now that 2 of the 3 are involved in the company and hopefully, moving on with them. So we ended up getting involved with RCA-SF. It's a great organization that we have here in South Florida where we are able to bring in roofers from the 3 or 4 counties that we work in. We have great monthly meetings and just a really good way to keep everyone connected and knowing each other. And the way that the fishing tournament started was like 42 years ago, just some roofers getting together to go fishing and blow off some steam. And what it's, evolved into today is amazing.
Yeah, you can see the picture up here of the Make-A-Wish, and as we've been talking about all the different stories that have run across Roofers Coffee Shop on the Caught Doing Good with everything you've done out there. And Lynn, I love the fact about Hurricane Andrew because that's when I started in the roofing industry too. I was like, Hurricane Andrew, that's what I always think of, and I was on the West Coast, but working for Malarkey. So the shingles were heading all your direction during that time.
That's right.
So as you're the RCASF, and which I want to really say, the executive director is Wendy Harvest, and she's just phenomenal too. I mean, you guys are just such a special group. What you said, it started out with the fishing tournament, just kind of getting together and having fun, but how did you really decide to start benefiting Make-A-Wish?
Well, I think it was actually the year before Wendy joined the association, which was in 2011. They raised some money. I'm not exactly sure who they used to raise money for before, but somehow they got involved with Make-A-Wish, and they said, well, I think they divided up the money more or less and tried to give something local. And the first donation to Make-A-Wish in 2010 was about $1,000. And so I didn't really get involved with the association fishing tournament committee until 2015 or 16. And most of the reason why was because I enjoy Wendy's company a lot. So I figured if I joined onto the committee, I'd get to see her more and, just be involved. So jumping into what Earl and I did in 2015, we had been in business almost, then the next year was going to be our 30th anniversary of being in business. And we wanted to do something special and see how we could make an impact with Make-A-Wish. So we found out that the average cost of a wish was $5,000. And so we thought, well, we have a lot of things we could spend $5,000 on that we wouldn't really see much of a value. I mean, of course, things that we need, like workers' comp insurance and, all of that fun stuff that we have to pay that just seems to go out the window. And we said, well, what if we could just give this $5,000 that we had, directly to Make-A-Wish? So the board members of the RCASF talked about that, and then they said that was a great idea, and they came up with a title for it, which was called a signature sponsorship.
Nice.
What we hoped that would happen has happened, and it's encouraged so many other roofing companies, manufacturers, distributors to jump on board and say, hey, we could do that too. We could be a signature sponsor too.
Well, and okay, so this is perfect because Barry, I'd like you to tell us a little bit about yourself, about what you're doing, and I also know that you're a signature sponsor, so maybe you can kind of talk about that also and how you both work on the board together.
Okay, my name is Barry Barrenbaum. I was hired in 1994 by Bradco Supply. I guess 2010, ABC acquired Bradco, and I stayed on. A lot of Bradco employees left. I stayed on because I like ABC. Well, no, I didn't, but now I do. Even before I worked for Bradco, started in 94, I would go down to the Keys with a couple friends that went to Bob Hilson's fishing tournament, which started this whole thing. And it's been nonstop ever since. I've been to, this is the 42nd annual fishing tournament. I think I've been to about 39, it's just so much fun to be there with all the contractors, with all the friends and family. I just love going down there. So anyway, my involvement with Make-A-Wish, as you know, is my wife Gail and I are signature sponsors. We've been doing this, I think, 3 or 4 years in a row. Actually, we share the signature sponsor with Anthony and Wendy. And again, to me, giving back is probably one of the best things that we do. ABC Supply is a major corporate sponsor for Make-A-Wish. They won't tell me what they do, but I guarantee you it's in the millions of dollars. I really don't want to know, but all I know is that I give my part. It feels good. Love giving back. to Make-A-Wish. Love the RCASF. I'm on the RCF board of directors. I'm on the fishing tournament committee. I just enjoy being involved, and I'll not stop doing it. It just makes me feel so good to give back to people that are unfortunate. I'm fortunate to have a good job. I get paid well. Everybody loves me. Even Lynn and Jackie, they love me too. So I'm here, and it just feels really good. I can't explain how good it feels to give back, and to be involved with an organization like the RCASF. I can't explain enough how how good it feels, and I'm just so glad to be here.
I really do want to. Hopefully this is okay, Barry, that I say this, but when you said you've been to 39 of the 42 or almost 42 of the fishing tournaments, you're going to be there this year, and you're going to be there.
Absolutely.
And you just came out of a pretty big medical, and you're still going to be there, and you are just
Absolutely.
like amazing.
I wouldn't miss it. I wouldn't miss it for the world. Last year we didn't have it. This year I'm not fishing, but I'm taking one of my 5 grandkids on the head boat, and we're going to fish together. Loves fishing, loves the dolphins, love the panthers. So his name is Dash, by the way.
Oh.
And we're just going to have a wonderful time. My wife's going to go fishing, and he's going to come with me on the head boat, and hopefully we catch fish.
I'm
sure
that
we will.
Is great.
I'm sure we will.
I know you will, and I know you'll all have a great time. I was telling Lynn yesterday that I plan on being there at some point, and not this year, but in the next couple of years. I want to attend also. So
absolutely.
We got to have the coffee shop there. So good, there's Lynn. I thought we lost her for a minute.
What happened?
Let's go real quick to Jackie. So Jackie, I would love it if you could share a little bit about yourself, again, about Make-A-Wish Southern Florida, and your involvement with these wonderful folks in the roofing industry.
Of course. So I'm Jackie Pearl. I am one of the senior special events coordinators at Make-A-Wish Southern Florida. I have been with the foundation for over 7 years now, and I can't believe that I get to call work, to be honest with you. As Lynn mentioned, the RCASF and Make-A-Wish have worked together for over 11 years now, which is so crazy. And it honestly has evolved into a beautiful partnership where we work tirelessly with a wonderful group of committee members such as Barry and Lynn, who are so passionate about changing lives of children in our community. And it's honestly just me as an outsider from a foundation standpoint to working with the committee members. It's so inspirational to know that people that don't work for the foundation are so passionate and work tirelessly. I mean, we are on these meetings every single month. And right when the tournament ends, we are right back again to start planning the next one. So honestly, it is just truly inspirational. And to be able to say this is work, to work with this group of people that are so committed to making sure each year it grows and the donation gets bigger and bigger. I mean, what more could you ask for, honestly?
I love that. Jackie, you've got to share the story about what you're doing this year at the tournament with the alumni. This had me teary yesterday when we were talking, Lynn and all of us were talking. So share what's going to happen.
Yeah, of course. So each year at the tournament, we have a wish child that is going through the wish process, and they come and they share their story and how their wish is going to be granted in front of this group of people from the RCASF, and that their funds that they're raising, your wish is being granted. Well, this year it's a little bit different, and I'm so excited because I honestly think that this is going to be so impactful. We are having a wish alumni who has had their wish granted 5 years ago, and she is now a grown adult. She is 22 years old, and she is coming back to tell her story of the impact her wish had on her, and the tournament funds were able to grant her wish 5 years ago. So it's truly full circle. It brings everybody back, and she gets to stand in front of her sponsors and say, 5 years ago, when you had this tournament, my wish was able to be granted. And I mean, I have chills just talking to you guys about it. So I can only imagine that in group of over 375 people, what that will be like.
And we want pictures. We want to know because we want to talk about it. I mean, it's so amazing. Lynn, as you're kind of looking at this and everything you've done, you don't always hear, I mean, the roofing industry gives back all the time. You see it across the country, everybody's giving back, but you don't always see this consistency of giving to one charity really that, I mean, to think about 5 years ago, now you're talking to a young lady who had a wish and it made such a difference in her life. How is that for you and all the board members? Kind of being able to just continually every year have this such a strong relationship with Make-A-Wish?
Well, I think it's great to be involved with Make-A-Wish of Southern Florida because it is local community, local children, and the fact that we've been able to invite their families to the event, I think that's what really solidified the fact that we should just stay, working with them, because each year, as more money was raised, as more people came on as signature sponsors, as we met more families, it just felt like it was just meant to be that we should just stay together as this group. We do also give money from the fishing tournament to the IGFA, the Fishing Association, because we wanted to somehow, bring back in what we started, which was fishing. So
Right.
We do also contribute to them, and that works out good for them because they have summer camps for kids, teach them how to fish and things like that. But there's so many families in the roofing industry, second, third generations. So to see all of the families come together and all the little kids get involved and be excited about meeting other kids. And because of Facebook, we've been able to stay in touch with all of these families, and it feels like they're just part of our association now.
That is so cool. Well, I do want to mention on some of the comments that are coming through. I just love this from April Johnston. She said, "Proud daughter alert." So you're talking about family. Your family's on here right now, watching and listening. And Wendy Harvest also wanted to tell everybody that what a great group, and she's just so thrilled to be a part of it. So we've got all kinds of people on here who are just really inspired by what's going on. So let's talk a little bit about, I mean, I know we have it here in the articles and stuff, but what kind of dollars have you been able to raise every year through the fishing tournament? Barry, maybe you could take that. What kind of funds have you been able to raise?
Well, I believe the year before, we donated to Make-A-Wish. I think it was 125,000. I think it was 125 or 150,000. Just from the tournament, just from the fishing tournament. I think we gave 15 or 20,000 to the IGFA, which Lynn mentioned, which helps young anglers learn and camps and all that. But I do want to add that when we were at the fishing tournament, and I've been to, like I said, plenty, when the Make-A-Wish family comes there and they play the loop on this big screen, and the Make-A-Wish recipient gets up there and either speaks or stands there, it brings a tear to my eye, just for me and the associate, the ICSF, and our whole fishing tournament team, and Jackie, of course, is involved in this. It just, again, sometimes I get a little emotional, It's just good. Again, I can't explain how good it feels that as an organization, we're fortunate enough to help Make-A-Wish, which is probably one of the greatest organizations around. And my wife and I will never stop being a signature sponsor.
That is
the way we are. And thank you, Lynn Johnson, for starting it. It's come a long way. We've got a lot of signature sponsors.
I want to tell you something. It's funny because when I joined the fishing committee, you don't realize when you go to these events as a guest how much work actually goes into behind the scenes. And I was amazed with There's a lot of people on the committee that work either for a manufacturer, such as GAF, or like Barry working for a distributor, ABC. We have great people that really bring in a lot of items and things like that for people to purchase through an auction, or we raffle them off. And that's how they were really making a lot of money. But I have to say that I'm so proud of the roofing just the roofing industry joining us with the signature sponsorship, because they have stepped up so high. They've stepped up. It's just been amazing how many people want to get involved. Even last minute at the tournament, we have people walking over to us and saying, I'm going to do a signature sponsor right now. I think at the tournament in 2019, which was the last one that we actually all physically attended, was our 40th. And we had people walking up. We must have raised at least 60,000 that night alone, just through the sponsorships. And I have to tell you one thing that we do that's really fun. After everybody gets done crying because of the, you know, how emotional it is, we stood up on the stage one year and we said, if everybody comes up to the stage right now and gives us $100 bill or 520s, however you want to do it, we could raise enough money right now for a wish. And we did. Within 5 minutes, we raised $5,000.
I think more.
Holy cow.
I think it was closer to 6,000.
It was probably more, yeah. And it was amazing how generous everybody is and how much they want to give back to these, you know, families in the community.
Wow. I just love this so much. Jackie, can you, I just think for everyone listening out there, just even, can you share what this means to kids and kind of how it works for these kids of Southern Florida? I mean, for all over, obviously, everywhere, and maybe talk a little bit about all the councils that are out there, all the different chapters, and how they're helping children everywhere.
Yeah, so there are 62 different Make-A-Wish chapters. Ours locally is Make-A-Wish Southern Florida, which is who I'm affiliated with and our CASF is affiliated with. And we do the 22 southernmost counties in South Florida. And we now include our Tampa and Sarasota area. We have the Naples and Bonita Springs area. And then right about Orlando is where another chapter takes the rest of the state of Florida. So we're the fourth largest chapter out of the 62 chapters. So we have a very big territory, which means one thing: there's a lot of kids. There's a lot of kids, and these kids are diagnosed with critical illnesses. When the process begins, anybody can refer a child. So it could be the child themselves, they can call. It could be their doctor, it could be their parents, a friend. Anybody can refer a child. And then we send paperwork over to the physician. The physician will then say if the child has an illness that qualifies, which is what we say a critical illness. Once the child qualifies, it's actually volunteer-based, so the wish granters are volunteer-based. So we have over 700 volunteers, and there are 2 volunteers per wish child. So once a child has qualified, it will say, Jimmy is 5 years old, he's battling this condition, and he's waiting for his wish to be granted. And so then that process begins. Once their process begins, where we go ahead and figure out what their heartfelt wish is, what they want, and then the wish process begins. It goes back to our wish coordinators, and then they begin that process. And that process is just truly inspirational. I mean, this child is going through not being able to necessarily play on the playground with their friends like a normal kid is able to do, not necessarily be in school every single day like a normal child is able to do. And they don't understand why at that point. I mean, to qualify for a wish, you need to be between the ages of 2.5 to 18 years old. So, I mean, a child, how do you explain that to a child?
Yeah.
Why can't I go hang out with my friends? Why am I here all the time at the doctor's and not there? So when Make-A-Wish comes in and we just want to instill hope and strength and courage, you know, to move on, and you can fight this illness and you can push forward. And I mean, a wish is not just a nice, really, fuzzy thing. It's necessary for these children. So it is necessary that they know, okay, my wish is in the process. I have always wanted to do this. I have always wanted to have this. You know, dream big. You know, what is your one heartfelt wish? And then they look forward to that wish happening and taking place. And I mean, it's like a kid on Christmas, right?
Yeah.
I mean, who can sleep the night before, who can do all these things? And it's just, I mean, it's just, you have no words, to be honest with you. And so, I mean, even things like that, myself, I am a volunteer wish granter. So that's not part of the staff, you know, being a staff member, you do that on the side. And so even just doing that, I don't tell, when I go into the children's home, and, you know, try to figure out their wish, I don't tell them that I'm an employee of the foundation. I go in as a volunteer. And so just going in and hearing how excited they are, and, you know, whether a child is battling leukemia or whatever condition that they're battling, I mean, they are so focused and joyful and on what their wish is going to be. And I think, and that's what everybody sees. So
I'm showing up here now a couple of articles, and the thing I love, Jackie, is we have Perkins Roofing out of Ohio. Amber had sent it in. This was a couple of years ago, but they helped build a tree house for a wish. And it just, to me, I was like, you know, you think of wishes like going to Disneyland. I think a lot of, you know, you see that a lot, but there's so many different ways of being involved. I mean, from signature sponsors to also being a volunteer to helping make, you know, build the tree house. That's amazing. So how do you see, how are people getting involved? I mean, tell us a little bit more about being that wish volunteer, because I think that's something that anyone can get involved in all over the country.
Yeah, our national website is wish.org, so wish.org, and then our local site is sfla.wish.org, and there are volunteer opportunities on both sites. So whether you're local, it would be sfla.wish.org, and then our national website would then go ahead and transfer you over to your local chapter. But there are so many different ways to get involved. So depending on the level of each individual, you can refer a child, and that's a way of getting involved. If you know somebody that would be eligible for a wish, you can get your child's school involved. We have what we call a Kids for Wish Kids program, and it's kids helping wish kids. You can get your company involved, which is what the RCASF has perfected. And all of that information and all those different tiers are on our website. So whether you would like to become a volunteer wish granter, you would like to get your child involved with helping raise money, that is all listed under our volunteer opportunities.
Love it. Well, we have Sandy Wax is on here, and she was just asking this. She wants to get in contact. I know that we can get her in contact with you, but then she can get in contact on a national level to get into her own area, which I love. Thank you, Sandy, because that is that's what it's all about. This is what we're trying, getting people. I mean, just imagine all the wishes out there. When I think about $165,000. I'm like, how many wishes came from that? I mean, that has to make just such a huge impact. So Jackie, I guess I'm going to ask you one more time. What does that mean to Make-A-Wish Southern Florida to have these kind of dollars and wishes coming into your local area? It's such a big area too, with so many kids.
Yeah, so on average, each year we grant over 540 wishes in any normal year. So we do 365 days out of a year. You can tell that on a normal year, we are granting every about 14 and a half hours, we are granting a wish is being granted. So putting that into perspective. So, I mean, it's honestly, there's no words. I mean, being able to, we have a wish pipeline. So these kids are waiting for their wishes to be granted and volunteers to go out and dollars to be raised and all that. And we do not ever want to, one thing in Make-A-Wish Southern Florida that our CEO has made clear is we do not ever want to turn a child away from receiving a wish due to funds not being raised. That is something that he is very adamant about. We will figure it out. We will do it. So a child is never going to get turned down locally by being able to say we don't have enough funds to be able to grant that child's heartfelt wish. And that's in itself, you know, it means so much. It means so much that, like Lynn said, it takes so long to plan. There's so many behind the scenes. There's so many little parts that go into the tournament. But of course, the over 375 to 400 people that attend, it's great. We're fishing, we're doing a great cause, and we're here, and it's so inspirational. But there's just so much that goes into it. And it means the world to me as Make-A-Wish, and I can tell you that till I'm blue in the face. But these kids, I know that Barry and Lynn have had, personal experiences on being able to, the impact that wishes have had. And who doesn't want to be a part of that? Who doesn't want to, take part in that? I mean, the fishing tournament, you get that feeling. You understand the impact that you're making locally. So.
Wow. I'm sorry, I have people coming in with comments. They like, first of all, I have to say, Barry, they're saying they love you. So I just want you to know that there's a lot of people out there saying we love Barry. So I love that. But so let's take it to that, because Jackie, I want to kind of go back to Lynn a little bit too on the fishing tournament. So Wendy just said that there was over 650 attendees in 2019 at your fishing tournament. So, I mean, that's huge. Getting all these people involved, 650, the logistics of it. I know you're saying people have no idea how much work goes in the back of it, and having done meetings, I know, but tell us a little bit more, maybe give the full outline of how the fishing tournament works. If people want to get involved, I'm not sure if they can still register for this year, but why don't you give it the whole rundown?
Well, and it just has evolved. And the last one that we attended in person, like you said, with the over 600 people, was amazing, because every year more and more people just want to come. Even how we've attracted you now from Oregon, that you want to come. And more and more people want to come. First of all, the location. I grew up in South Florida, and I know that the Florida Keys is a huge attraction for people for all over the world. So the resort that we've been able to hold this fishing tournament at is called Hawks Cay, and it's located in Duck Key. And it's not hard to get to for a lot of the people that live in the area where we work. So that's a very big draw, that people love to go down there. The resort is set up for families to go. Last year, because of the pandemic, we didn't obviously get to have the tournament, but I have to tell you that the industry stepped up anyway. We had a live auction that Make-A-Wish was able to set up that whole program and that platform for us. We were able to do an auction. We were able to still get people to donate. Last year, we didn't even step in the same room together. We did all of our meetings over Zoom, and we still raised over $100,000. And
wow.
Just how much people want to contribute to this. Before we even step into the room on Friday, June the 11th, when we first get together again, many of us have not seen each other in, a long time, very long time, almost 2 years since we saw each other at the fishing tournament. We've already raised $75,000 before we've even walked into the room.
Jeez.
Okay, that's how amazing this is. And I encourage anyone that can attend to attend. This year, we sold out of the hotel rooms, within a record time, because people were so anxious and so excited to get together again. And I just see that it's just getting bigger and bigger every year. And it's something that I encourage, roofers and associations and people in the industry across the country to set up some sort of event, every year. It's great to get people together, and it's a great opportunity to raise money for a great organization.
Yeah, I tell you, so just to be clear, can people still sign up even right now for June 11th, or are you pretty much sold out?
Well, I think that people can still sign up. Maybe Wendy can answer that if she's on. Like I think Jackie said, we already have 375 people who have registered, and we do have room for more. And they may not be able to stay at the same resort because we have sold that resort out already, but there's a lot of nice resorts nearby. in the Florida Keys that people could still come, and stay there.
Excellent. So Wendy, I know you're out there. If you want to let us know. Oh, yep, she just did. So you just go to, and everyone can see this on the screen, but it's rcasf.org to register. So it's not too late. If you're listening from Florida, if you're listening from anywhere in the country and you want to get in your car or on a plane, you still have time to be involved. But you can also be involved in other ways too. Whether you're attending or not. But before we get to that, because we have a whole section on that. But once they get to the tournament, I know, Barry, you were saying you're going to be on the head boat and you're doing that. So just how does it work? I mean, when you get there, Barry, what are you going to do? What are you going to do while you're there?
Normally I show up Friday sometime, but being on the committee and I've got work to do, I'll be there Thursday. We get there Thursday. And there's an itinerary, and as Lynn said, there's a lot of work involved, for everybody. Everybody's got their particular job, specific job, and you just follow the itinerary and just do your thing. You're there, you're volunteering. Again, it just feels good to give back. We'll be there Thursday, working, setting up, and displays and all that, and then Friday, it's a cocktail party, and
Nice.
captain's meeting. Saturday, fishing. Saturday night is a really nice dinner, buffet dinner, and you can bid for the auctions, and I believe they give out the auctions that evening. And there's dancing. Everybody's dancing, having a great time. And Sunday is the awards banquet, and again, it's just so much fun to be involved and being at this resort, which is gorgeous, and it's just, I'm gonna be, I might even stay overnight too Sunday.
Yeah.
That's how much fun we have there. We enjoy the company, we enjoy all the RCSF members, Jackie included.
Thank you for including me.
You're gonna be there. You'll be there. But again, it just like I said, it's good to be there. It's even though I live in South Florida, when I get to Duck Key, to Hawks Cay, it's just like a different world. It's just relaxing. You're with your friends, your customers, your competitors, which there's nothing bad about that. Competition is good. Even though ABC is number one, but So anyway, again, I'll be there. My wife will be there, and like I said, we're just so happy to be there again. We missed it. We absolutely missed it. The last year, missed having the meetings. I like. It's okay Zoom, but there's nothing like being together in a room.
Yeah. There is something so special about the roofing industry. And I think we've all missed that connection, in-person connection, even though we have this and we have the Zoom and we've been doing the coffee conversations to bring us all together. But there is just something so special. So Jackie, but you have to admit, don't you think the roofing industry is probably one of the most special out there?
Absolutely. This is, and I tell Wendy all the time, I'm like, this is by far my favorite group of people and my favorite event to do. And she's like, she thinks I'm kidding. I'm like, Wendy, don't tell my boss, but this is my favorite.
This is it. Well, I have to say, go ahead. Yeah.
Before joining the committee, I just went there for fun, and that's what a lot of people can do, even if they don't fish. That resort is nice. Bring your family down there. The people that aren't out fishing are out by the pool. They have a dolphin interactive event that you can go and swim with dolphins. The kids that are there are having such a good time. And then when all the people get back from the fishing event, there's a little time over at the weigh-in station for them to all share their stories of what they caught and things like that. And everything is kept top secret as far as who caught the biggest fish and who caught how many fish. And that leads to a lot of excitement on Sunday morning when we have our awards banquet and they announce the winners, and we have beautiful trophies that are given out, and it just ends up at the end of the day on Sunday, everybody's had the best time and they're already looking forward to the next year.
And, you know, when I think about that, you are able to do something that is so strong for your roofing community, but yet gives back so much to all these young children or to all these kids out there for Make-A-Wish. I mean, you've really grabbed the best of both worlds. You know, so a lot of times I think people miss that connection of doing something like this, bringing that great spirit, and then it just continues to grow with all of the donations that come through that. So I wanted to just real quick say here that we have some folks from across the country, and I just want to read this one. So one of our RCS influencers, a very dear friend, Wendy Marvin, out of Vancouver, Washington. So almost, not quite, but close, about as far as we can get, right, cross country. She says, my family has benefited from Make-A-Wish and visited NASA. The gift is life-changing. Thank you for the positive impact on children and their families. You're all true angels. And so that's from Wendy Marvin from Vancouver, Washington. So changing lives clear across the country. It makes it makes me a little teary. And Linda and I were talking about it, that we can cry really easy. So
can I say something for anyone that is out there watching this or listening to this? Right now, something that they can do, we do have what we call a corporate challenge set up. So there's a lot of people that want to be involved, but because they are across the country and they can't attend, or they're not able to get to our event, we've set up this opportunity for them to go right on and make a donation through this corporate challenge link. What this is going to do is it's going to make money. It's going to go directly to Make-A-Wish. It's not going to pass through any other hands at all. It's going to go directly to Make-A-Wish. And whether it's $5 or $10 or $20, it's going to make an impact. And one of the things that we decided to do this year, 2021, we decided, let's see if we can do a May match challenge. With our company, we decided that anyone who goes to our corporate challenge link and makes a donation in the month of May, we're going to match that challenge. And I can tell you at this point where we are, we have already granted one wish with what's coming in. So
yes,
anybody that wants to click on that and join in, we'd really be happy for them to be able to do that.
That is, just so everyone knows, it's on the screen right now, but Megan is putting this into the chat also. So direct links to the corporate. So there's two. There's the corporate with RCASF challenge, but then there's also the Earl Johnston Roofing challenge that is being matched this May. And so I was so happy you told us about that, Lynn. I mean, we went in, that's just something, I don't know, it's pretty awesome. I would recommend, the Roofers Coffee Shop, we wanted to be a part of it, and there's a lot of people out there I know who are going to want to do that. So those are the kind of things that bring us all together.
When we put it together, you can see there I did have a hefty goal, and I said $25,000. And the reason I did that was because I have my husband and my 3 kids, so we're the original party of 5, I always call us. So I figured 5 is good, but 5 times 5 is better, because why not? So that's why we put the goal of 25,000. But I'm happy with how much we've raised so far, and I just think it's going to be amazing to see it all donated back to the community in Make-A-Wish.
Yeah. I just love that. That is so cool. We have so Jamie Self, hopefully I said your name right, is on here saying, these are my favorite people too. My mom is the coolest. So I'm guessing, Lynn, that's pretty cool. Both your party of 5 are all online watching right now. So
yeah, and I do put them to work when we get to the fishing tournament too. They become volunteers whether they know it or not, and they always get involved. We have a little fun challenge that we do when the guys come in or the fishermen, anglers come in with their fish. If they're willing to donate the mahi that they've caught for our dinner that night, we also present them with an award. And so Jamie usually helps me, keep track of that with the dockmaster of how much fish was donated. And we ended up having a wonderful fresh fish dinner on Saturday night.
I love that. Well, and that's what April is also saying the same thing. Go ahead.
For the award for the most donated fish is called the Generosity Trophy, and we have a sponsor for that. And on another note, even though Gail and I are signature sponsors, we're making a donation to the corporate challenge also.
Oh.
I can never figure out how to do it.
Just give me your credit card, baby.
It'll happen. I'll make it happen.
I'm telling you right now, I think we can make it happen. I think Lynn will make it easy for anybody. Just
yeah,
no
absolutely.
problem.
Absolutely.
Oh, that is great.
I look forward to the event. It's gonna be a lot of fun this year.
Let's talk just a little bit, Lynn, about year round. How does this work year round? I mean, Jackie said it earlier that it's as soon as you're done with one tournament, you're starting the next year. So
we take a couple months off, but then we usually start to get back together during the meetings, and just the donations and the sponsorship that we get from the industry is phenomenal. We have manufacturers, distributors, all the trophies that we hand out are sponsored by someone. All of the events that we host are sponsored. The cocktail party is sponsored. One year, I think we had the Hangover Bloody Mary bar the next day. That's sponsored. Everything is sponsored, and that starts right away. When we finish the tournament, we want to reach out again and say, are you going to do it again next year? And a lot of times we get people that don't make the sponsorship money before the end of this year so they can get it on their fiscal year before we even start meeting again. And the committee meets, starting in January, the committee meets every 2 weeks. I think there's 10 of us on the committee now, and we go out, we get local companies to donate fishing poles. We get companies to donate coolers, all kinds of things that would be interested for people to bid on. We get trips that we get donated that people can bid on. And it's just year round, always preparing for what we can do next year.
Wow. And people across the country involved, all the manufacturers and distributors and everybody across the country. I love it. It truly shows the roofing respect. Yes.
I'd like to give a shout out and not only thank the entire RCSF fishing tournament, but there's two people that really are involved. We really have to thank Gene Paul, Certified Contracting Group, and Corey Daly. Those two guys have kind of spearheaded the fishing tournament happenings for years. And, we just got to shout out to them. Thank you guys, and thank all the fishing tournament committee members. It's going to be another great year. It definitely will be another great fishing tournament.
I love it.
And there are, I want to mention, since you mentioned them, they're great people. Also, Dave Clark and Erica Bergeron, those two, I think single-handedly, they get the most items donated to the tournament. They are just relentless. They're constantly, just getting more and more and more people involved. We actually ended up raising so much money, we had to come up with new things for people to sponsor because we had so many people that wanted to help and wanted to join in. I mean, it's just amazing how much work everybody on the committee does. We have a few people that work for Beacon Supply, Golf Eagle, ABC, EAF, and the involvement is just amazing.
Firestone's a big sponsor.
Yep.
Wow.
And Gene Paul from Certified Roofing, he has been really our leader. He runs a very thorough meetings. He keeps us on track. He keeps us on time. He even has a little gavel that he bangs every once in a while if we get off track. Because we do enjoy each other's company so much that sometimes we get off track and start talking. But it makes the meetings, fun and keeps them interesting. And even when we were doing them on Zoom, we still were able to accomplish so much.
Yeah, so fun. So, Lynn, that's what I kind of wanted to. We're getting close to the end of our hour, but if you were giving advice to other roofing contractors, other associations across the country who wanted to start something like this, or maybe they want to take something they already have and really kind of build it up, working with Make-A-Wish, what would be your advice to them?
Well, my first advice is really to encourage people to join the associations within their community. If you don't have a local association, I'm sure you have a state association, just like we have the FRSA, the Florida State Association. So start from joining your association and getting involved that way. And then, just set up a committee that wants to put together an event, whether it's a fishing tournament, a golf tournament, a bowling tournament, a walk, a ride, anything that people in your community like to do. And then join it together with an opportunity to get people together, competitors such as we are, and, just bring them together in the way that they're having a common goal, which is to help out these families and make these wishes come true.
That is perfect. Barry, I'm going to ask you the same question. From looking at it from more the manufacturing and distribution side, what's your advice to manufacturers, distributors, and all the service providers out there? How should they be getting involved with the associations in these kind of projects?
Well, first of all, I believe that every manufacturer, supplier, roofing contractor should be getting involved in this organization, and definitely, contribute to the Make-A-Wish Foundation as much as they can, as little as they need to, as little as they can. But just stay on course. Have a goal, like we all should. Stay focused. Stay on track and just put one foot in front of the other and just move forward and just, hold your ground, stay focused and just be there when your customer needs you. And just be fair and just be honest. That's one thing that I do. I do not lie, because I talk so much that I might forget what I say. And that's it in a nutshell. Again, I really enjoy being on this coffee conversation, this is my first, and I'd love to attend more. Maybe this is the last one, but next year I definitely will.
Yep.
Again, I love being on the RCASF board of directors for both the Roofing Contractors Association and the fishing tournament. Just love being here.
Yeah.
Love being involved.
See, I really see too, with everything that the industry has gone through for the last year and a half, 2 years, and now still, Barry, you and I were talking about it. There's still so many challenges with huge demand, materials, all those kind of things. It really, these kind of events, the fishing tournaments, the giving back to the community, the being involved with your local association, it makes it easier to ride out those hard times.
Right. As we experience this shortage of materials, it'll go through eventually. But
right.
Again, this fishing tournament or these fishing tournaments take your mind off all that. It's an area and a time where you can forget about the work. You can forget about the material shortage. You get down there and you just enjoy the company of your friends, your family. And again, it's just a getaway. It's get away from all the hustle and bustle that we're involved with day in, day out.
I love it. I love it. I do want to say real quick a shout out to Jose Rodriguez. He's on and he just wanted to say thank you. And there's a lot of people on here who are just really, really inspired. So Jackie, just as we're coming up to the end of this, but I'd like you to, again, just your advice to people, how to get involved. I know you said it once, but let's say it again, how to get involved with Make-A-Wish and also the different opportunities.
Of course. So there are many different ways to get involved. As I said earlier, you can refer a child, that's the way of getting involved. If you have a child that goes to school, getting their school involved with our Kids for Wish Kids program. Obviously, getting your company involved or getting involved as an individual, as a volunteer wish granter, or as a special events volunteer. All of that information is on our website at sfla.wish.org under the Volunteers Opportunity tab, and take it from there. Our volunteer manager will reach out to you. Her email is listed on our website locally. If you're not locally to South Florida, wish.org is our national website.
And all of that is in the chat, so you can find it. We will also have all of this up on the website. So last thing, Lynn, the importance of making the friendship and the relationship like you and Barry have with Jackie, and bringing the association and bringing somebody from Make-A-Wish onto your committee. How important is that?
That's been so really instrumental in helping us understand the impact that we've been making, so that then we can go and share it with the industry. I don't even remember how it first started, where we just said, well, why don't we just invite Jackie to one of the meetings and she can share some information with us. And once she came to one meeting, it was like, oh, we need her to come to every meeting, because they do a lot of fundraising. She does do things with other people, not just us. And she gives us a lot of information about how Make-A-Wish, does these, and we just have a lot of ideas back and forth. And for her to be able to come to the fishing tournament and then see everything, how it all plays out, it's just been fantastic being able to be with her and have her involved with it.
That is, well, I have to tell you, and I think, Lynn, we made it through without crying too much. So we did pretty dang good. I know, just a little bit. But I want to thank all of you. You are inspiring. You've inspired me. You've inspired all the people watching, and you're inspiring the entire roofing industry. So thank you for everything that you do. And I wish I was going to be there June 11th, but I'm looking at 2022 to be there with you guys at that fishing tournament. You've sold me. It's awesome.
Absolutely. We can't wait. We can't wait to see you.
It is great. Well, thank you so much for being here. And thank you everyone for listening. I just know that you have to be as inspired as I am right now, and to get involved, please go to the corporate challenges on both of those sites. You can find them in the chat. If you can give, that would be great, because it all goes to helping Make-A-Wish for beautiful young children. So now I'm going to get goosebumps. I do want to let everyone know that, again, this is our season finale for season 2. So we're going to go on hiatus over the summer, but not 100%. We are actually going to be doing the first live on-site coffee conversations at our very first one will be at FRSA. So I'm hoping to see all my Florida friends when we're there at that show. Maybe we'll get you into the booth and have a little conversation about how the tournament went. But look for us at the FRSA show. We'll be out in the lobby. We'll be having live coffee conversations. It's going to be great. And then at IRE in Vegas, we will also have a live coffee conversation, again, sponsored by ABC Supply. It's going to be phenomenal. We've got a great booth right up in front, sound booth. We're going to be interviewing everybody, finding about how their year is going, and really the excitement of all being back together again. So please join us for those. As you all know, you can watch any of these under Read, Listen, Watch under Coffee Conversations. They're all on demand. This is on demand. You'll be able to watch it. Barry, you can share it with all your family. Lynn's family's all here already, so we're going to have it. In fact, I think Jackie said it's going to even be, some links will be on Make-A-Wish. So lots of great ways to watch this again in the future. So for the season 2, from all of us at Roofers Coffee Shop, we appreciate you so much. We appreciate everybody in this roofing industry. And Barry, Jackie, and Lynn, thank you so much for being on our season finale.
Thank you
Heidi.
so much for having me.
Thank you. Everyone, have a great day, and we'll see you live at FRSA in July. See you there. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye, everybody.
Thank you.